Hey everybody, I hope you guys are doing well. I've got another video for you today. This is another TTM video. TTM, if you don't know, stands for Through the Mail, and what I will do, and I know a lot of you guys do as well, is take sports cards from the four major sports, baseball, basketball, hockey, football, and send them to the players with a self-addressed stamped envelope as well as a handwritten letter, which I try to make it individualized to the player. Rather than just like a form letter that looks like you send the same thing to each player, try to insert something that is unique to that player, that shows a little bit or have done some homework on it before sending to them. But most importantly, the letter should ask them for their signature on the card or cards that you sent to them. Most of them will do it for free. Some charge a little fee. It's like $5-10, nothing major. I'm sure if you're watching this video, you probably know all that. But for those who are new to TTMing, that's kind of the procedure. And if you want addresses, I know people have asked for addresses. There's a website, it's called Sports Card Forum, that people will post the addresses of players and kind of the success rate, whether or not they've received things back from those players at the addresses that they've used. Yeah, so that's usually where I get all my addresses, and just fun little hobby to have. So I got a bunch since the last time I made a video, so let's get into it and see what we've got. Starting off, we've got a player who played in the early 80s for the A's and the Rangers. Got Bob Lacy. He was a pitcher, and one of the things, he's another player who likes to sign right across his face. And if you watch some of my earlier TTMs, I've commented on this before, that I'm not the biggest fan of when they write across their face. I'd rather anywhere else on the card but their faces, just the aesthetics of it. I just don't think it looks as good, but I'm not complaining. It's just a personal preference. We've all got our preferences. Some people like blue markers, some people like black markers, some people don't care where they sign it, some people do, but I'm just happy to get their signature, so I'm not complaining. So don't read too much into that. But anyway, Bob Lacy also sent me a postcard, and what some people will do, but I don't do, is they will ask the player a question. Usually they'll have like an index card, and they'll ask the player to respond to the question, which it appears Bob Lacy did respond to a question, but I didn't ask him a question, so this is kind of responsive, and so I got somebody else's response. So if you sent to Bob Lacy and you didn't get your question answered, maybe this answers it, because I don't know what the question is, but he wrote, in 1976 spring training at Rendezvous Park in Mesa, Arizona, Vida Blue took a whole bag of brand new baseballs and tossed them to kids. And he has a Bible passage as well. So sounds like a neat little experience. And with the late Vida Blue, great player, great guy. So kind of interesting to have that, but I feel kind of like I've got somebody else's. If it's yours, let me know. I could send it to you or something. But anyway, so we got that from Bob Lacy. Next up is a local player. Local as in he lives in Westminster, Colorado, which is a suburb of Denver. It's about halfway between Denver and Boulder. Scott Bales, pitcher for the Indians in the late 80s, early 90s. I've got his 88 Donruss, his 1990 score, and his 1991 score. I really like his signature. I don't know, it just looks really cool. Yeah, anyway, that's Scott Bales. Really quick to get those back. And then next up, we've got another player, and I've got tons of 1975 tops and tons of 81 flair, so we're getting a bunch of these in a lot of my returns lately. Got Dave LaRoche, who is a pitcher for the Cubs, the Yankees, and the Angels as well. Yeah, so I've got his 81 flair, his 82 tops, and his 1975 tops. So good pitcher of the day, of the era. Next up, we've got Tommy Hutton, who played for the first base for the Phillies and the Expos. And a lot of these guys played before my time, or I was an infant when they were still playing their final year, so I'm not that familiar with them, but still have their cards, still like collecting them. So we got Tommy Hutton. Next up is a player who, Carmen Fanzone, which he was an interesting guy, and he did a lot of really cool stuff post baseball. Like he's a really accomplished jazz musician. He's like a trumpeter, and went really high in that profession with his I think he's has like recordings and stuff out. But so he's a very accomplished jazz musician. He also did like some voices for some like Transformers cartoons or something, I think, as well. But got Carmen Fanzone, and he actually wrote me like a thank you letter as well for writing to him and telling me to stay well and stuff. So very happy to get that from Mr. Fanzone. Next up is Storm Davis. Now, Storm Davis, I sent these out to him back in July of last year, and they got lost, and then I resent to him in January. And my things from him came back within a couple weeks, and these are kind of the ones that got lost in the mail. So I've got 3 more of his. So now I have way too many Storm Davises, but I've got his 87 tops. Excuse me. His 87 tops, his 87 Fleer, as well as his 88 tops. And now I've got 2 88 tops because in my other submission to him, I also sent in 88 tops. So got a duplicate. But anyway, very happy to get Storm Davis. He was a great pitcher in the 80s. And yeah, so those came back. Another player that I thought was lost in the mail at the same time. And the thing was, on the postmarks, they said July 2025. So it wasn't that they sat on them forever, it's that they got lost in the post office. You know, and I don't know where they went. They probably traveled all over the place and eventually came back here in March. But this is from last summer as well. This is Jay Howell, who played for the Yankees, as well as the A's. I've got his 84 tops, 85 Donruss, and his 87 tops as well. And then next up, we've got Barry Foote. We've got his trophy cup from, as is obvious from this card, he was a catcher in the 70s and 80s. This is rookie trophy cup card from 75, as well as his 81 tops and 81 Fleer when he was playing for the Cubs. And then next up, we've got a manager, Tom Kelly, I was trying to find a card of his where it didn't have like such dark blue, so like his signature would actually show up, but fortunately the Twins have really dark uniforms, and so their signatures don't show up as well. But we've got Tom Kelly, who was the manager, I think, when they won the World Series in 88 or 87. Yeah, 87 tops and 91 tops there. Here's another pitcher from the early 80s, or late 70s, early 80s. John Madlock, played for the Rangers and played for the Mets as well. I've got his 78 tops, his 81 Fleer, and his 84 tops as well. Here's a football one. I don't do as much football, but if I have cards, I will sometimes send them out. And I had these a good kicker from the 80s, Pat Lee. Got his pro set and tops. Can't remember what years those were. I think it's 89 and is that 91? Or 90. I think it's 90 tops. Yeah, I got those from him. Here's a player that went on to become a manager, Doug Rader. He's on the Padres in the 70s, and then he went on to manage the Rangers and the Angels. So I've got one of his playing days cards from 1977 tops, and then I've got him as a manager with the Rangers and the Angels in 84 and 90. Next up, and these are probably the ones I'm most excited to get back, are 2 Tiffany's of Bill Madlock when he was playing for the Tigers. I'm a Tigers fan, so I didn't get his Pirates cards, even though he's more known for his years with the Pirates, but beautiful glossy Tiffany cards of his. I really like that 87 tops. You see the old Tiger Stadium, those blue dugouts in the background, so I'm very happy to get those from Bill Madlock. 1 second. Mouth was getting dry. Next up, we have John Russell, who was a catcher for the Phillies in the 80s, and then he went on to play for the Rangers. Yeah, Rangers. Yeah, so John Russell. Then this is another one that kind of gave up on it, and local. We got 4 cards from Doug Schmail, hockey, which he just lives up in Golden, which is right near Denver as well. Kind of a suburban area that is just west of Denver that abuts the mountains kind of just north of Morrison, where Red Rocks is. But that's where Doug Schmail lives, and he got back to me with some cards of him on the North Stars as well as on the Jets. So very happy to get him. And then lastly, we've got Barry Evans, who played for the Padres in the early 80s. We've got his 81 Fleer, his 81 Tops, as well as his 82 Tops. And he put a Bible verse on those as well. And he had some, I guess, his religious literature as well, that features him as well, that he sent. But anyway, so those are the ones that I got for this latest batch of TTM cards. I've been sending out a lot in the last couple of weeks, and so I'm expecting a whole bunch to come in the mail. A lot of 81s, a lot of 75s. So kind of that era, I just have a lot of cards. So that's kind of where I've been focusing on lately, for the only reason because I have tons of cards. But anyway, we'll see what comes in next and for the next video. But hope you guys enjoyed that and hanging out with me and looking at all of these cards that came. So that's my latest TTM video. Hopefully I will see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye.